Hey, how's it going? Today you and I are going to be unboxing the Typhur Sync Oven. I'm really looking forward to this one because it's going to be the first device that I've ever taken a look at from Typhur. Hopefully the build quality and features justify the higher price. So you ready? Let's get into this. This is the Typhur Sync Oven. The box is just boring brown cardboard, nothing really to see here. Let's get this thing open right away. Alright, let's get the fun started here. I never unbox these off camera because I want to experience the thrill of the unboxing at the same time as you guys, just because it sort of feels like opening presents on Christmas Day or something. Except it's better for you because in your case, you don't actually have to buy anything to experience it. Okay, let's see what we got. Right here is the smart probe. This thing is really cool. It's a wireless probe that goes into your meats whenever you're cooking in this thing, and this connects to the oven via Bluetooth. Really nice construction on it too. It's like stainless steel, which it should be if it's going to be getting stuck in the meat all the time. It's got its own little holder here that stays magnetically connected to the top of the oven, I think, when it's not in use. Nice little Typhur logo on the side of it as well. In case you're wondering, this right here isn't metal, it's just plastic. Okay, we'll set this aside. And right here, we've got a massive quick start guide. Oh, never mind, this is all of our stuff. Here's the quick start guide, just a little 2-page dealie showing you how all the parts work, how to get the thing running really quick, what temperatures the doneness levels are at. Talking about the app that you need to download, there's a QR code for it right here as well. And they do have apps for Apple and for Android as well. And on the back is a quick rundown of what's on the control panel. Here is the actual user manual, and this will have more in-depth instructions on how to use the thing, safety information. Wow, that's a lot of safety information. List of all the parts, and pretty much anything you want to know about this machine. Also, there's information about all the different cooking modes and what they're good for. Very cool. Don't lose this thing. You're gonna need to reference it from time to time. Okay, important precautions before your first use, including how to reduce smoke, the fact that it's gonna smell a little funny the first time you use it, just like most appliances, and also a little bit more in-depth information about using the probe. Last thing we have here is the Typhur Sync Oven recipe book, and this is looking pretty nice. You got really high resolution, high saturation pictures of some of these recipes, along with some really great instructions on how to actually make this stuff. And a lot of these recipes are more than 1 page long, so I kind of like that. They're not skipping on the different steps. You can see there's even pictures here of each step along the way on these. So, really great recipe book. I recommend keeping these things because even if some of these foods don't interest you right now, you might get a wild hair up your butt and try to make something a little different, and in that case, you got a little bit of reference. Alright, let's get this top off of here. And it looks like all we got left in here is the oven, and probably all the accessories are inside of it. So we'll get this out of here. And after taking that out, I did notice that we have some stuff down here in the bottom of the box. Looks like we have our non-stick baking tray. Not exactly sure what this is. Doesn't look like it's Teflon or anything. I have to look in the book to see what this is made out of. And now we can take a look at the actual oven. And here is the oven. And we'll see about getting all this plastic off of here. I'll tell you what, these Typhurs are a little bit more expensive, but this build quality seems a lot higher too. Alright, looks like the exterior is all stainless steel. Not bad at all. The control panel area on the front is this gloss black plastic stuff. So probably you're going to end up with fingerprints on the front of this machine. Up on top you can see this little section here with these little power nubs. That is for this probe, and that just sits right on top here. That's the park location for this to keep it charged up. And like I mentioned before, it is magnetic, so really this isn't going anywhere. Glass window on the door, and if we look at the back of this thing, we can see some of the pertinent information back here. This thing is 120 volts with a maximum output of 1,750 watts. Power cord back here is got a special covering on it to help protect it, which is nice. I've never seen any machine like that before. And the power cable itself is about 3 feet long. It looks like when this isn't in use, you can even wrap this around this thing like this, maybe. I don't know if you're supposed to do that. Kind of looks like you are, but maybe not. This right here is the vent, by the way, so if you were going to wrap this around here for storage, you probably don't want to do it right after you use it because that's probably going to be hot right back there. Let's turn this back around again. Looks like we got some rubber feet on this thing too, so it won't scratch up your surfaces. Exterior measurements on the oven would be, including the probe sitting on the top, it is 14.5 inches tall, 14 inches without the probe. Width would be almost exactly 17 inches. And the depth, if we take the vent and the handle into consideration, is about 17 inches. So it's a big oven, but it's not overtly big. To me, this kind of feels like it's just about the right size. Okay, opening this up. Tell you what, they really did do a nice job packing this thing. And one thing I noticed right away is this door has a pretty nice hinge on it. I mean, it just feels like it's really strong. You can see these pieces on the side here are nice and thick, so that's promising. One thing about this though is that this handle sticks out quite a bit, so if you're using it on your countertop, probably need to have this hanging off the front, otherwise it's going to kind of get stuck like this. Nobody's going to be using it pushed back that far anyway though, so don't think that would be a problem. Let's see what else we got in here. Okay. Oh, we got an oven mitt for my collection of oven mitts. Well, that's kind of nice. Does it say Typhur on it? No, but that's all right. It's nice when you get stuff you're not expecting, huh? This is our air fry basket. This is all stainless steel, and the construction on it seems really nice. Nice welds on this. Everything's done nice and neat. In fact, this basket comes all the way out to the edges of this. A lot of times what you end up getting is big handles and a little tiny basket in the middle. This is designed to use up the maximum amount of space in your oven. Okay, right here looks like our shelf, and it is. Standard stainless steel shelf. I'll tell you, man, there's a lot of packing shit in here. This down here is the drip tray. This looks like it is aluminum. It's got a nice shape to it. This square shape that they have here in the bottom isn't just decorative. That is actually designed to help keep this thing from warping. So the way all this stuff goes in here is your drip tray goes into the bottom down there below the heating elements. I'm just going to put my rack up here out of the way. We've got our air fry tray, we'll put that in right there. And then we have our non-stick roasting pan. I did check on this, and this is a ceramic coating. So that's good, but as far as Typhur is concerned, it would be better if you would put that information in the manual so I don't have to go to your website and look it up. Really, the ceramic should be a selling point, so if I was Typhur, I would have that written on the box someplace. I'll set that right down there. Yeah, this thing is spacious. Nice. Let's plug this in and take a look at the control panel. Okay, we got our power button over here. We got temperature and shade controls for toasting right here. Your time dial right here, along with the number of slices you're using for the toast function. And your function dial all the way here on the end, along with the start and pause function, which you'd use just by pushing this in. Let's take a quick look and see what this thing can do. Nice big numbers. I'm liking that. So what we can see right here is you've got your temperature in Fahrenheit. I'm sure we can change that to Celsius also somehow. We have our timer right next to it. You have a charge indicator right up here, which is for your probe. You can see that is charged up all the way now. There's a button for preheating to turn that on and off. You can see it is turned on right now. Pushing that button turns that off. And we have a light button at the bottom, which turns the light on and off inside your oven, which is actually a pretty bright light. A lot of times those are wimpy and you can't really see anything in there, but in this case you can. Right here there's a rack level indicator. I don't know whether that's telling us what level the rack is already at or what level the rack should be at based upon what function we have on here. Probably it's the latter. Over here are the different functions. You have roast, you have air fry, you have broil, bake, toast, and when you switch over to the toast, you can see the shade and the slices. I can use the time and temperature dials on this function to change how dark I want the bread and how many slices of bread I have in the machine. Looks like I take up to 6. Next we have a bagel setting. Same thing with the shade and slices. A cookie setting, pizza, proofing, reheating, dehydrating, which is kind of a nice feature I didn't think was going to be in there, and also a keeps warm function. That's a pretty nice set of functions. You might have noticed that that rack level was changing, so that is telling us what level we need to have the rack on for doing whatever type of thing we're doing on here. Now, in addition to all of these controls, if I remove this probe right here, you can see that a whole bunch of other stuff came up, and this probe comes out of this plastic thing just like that. This thing pairs to your oven with Bluetooth. It's actually paired at the factory, but if you download the app and install that, you can make some modifications with that if you want to. You can see right now that I'm holding this in my hand and the temperature of this thing is going up. So it's already reading me right from the start. Right here we have all the controls that we have access to by using the probe. And also with the probe out, you can see that we only have access to 4 different functions over here out of all that other stuff. That's because these are the 4 functions that this works with. Right, these functions over here are still controlled by the dials on the right. All of these functions here are controlled by these push buttons. This is set to medium right now, but if I hit the done this button a bunch of times, I can change the temperature of whatever meat I want to cook. If I use the preset button, I could change the type of protein that I'm going to have this probe in. So you got beef, fish, pork, lamb, and poultry. The only other thing down here is the manual setting, and that's just exactly what it says. It's just manual controls for your 4 functions. So if you're using these presets, for instance, if I was making beef and I want it to be medium, then we want to cook the internal temperature of the beef to 130 degrees. We would put this probe into the middle of your meat, start it up, and your oven would automatically shut off once the internal temperature of that beef reached 130 degrees. No guesswork, no nothing. And in case you were confused about it, this is the temperature that we want to cook to, and this is the temperature that this is currently at. Hey, by the way, if this is your first time here and you want to learn some cool new recipes, get some great cooking tips and tricks and all sorts of other kitchen related things, then start now by subscribing to the channel and clicking the notification bell so you never miss a thing. Alright, so before we finish this up, we've got to do a little test, don't we? So, I think we should maybe make some French fries. And we're going to put those right into our air fry rack here. Alright, so we got some crinkle cuts. And you can see this is about a pound of French fries. It's really easy to lay them out really flat, so this thing really does have a lot of space on it. Okay, we're gonna slide that in there. We'll close this up. We're gonna set this to air fry, and we're supposed to preheat this, but I am not gonna do that for this test. We're gonna leave the temperature at 360 degrees, but we're gonna set the time to, let's say 14 minutes. Once all that looks good, we'll go ahead and start this sucker up. And if you're wondering how loud this is, only about maybe 53 decibels at the high end, that is super quiet for an air fryer. Alright, let's check this out. These are cooked really even. In fact, I thought that they were undercooked for a second, but these are nice and crunchy. If I open that up, oh yeah, these are perfect. In fact, you know, this might be about as even as an air fry job that I've ever gotten out on one of these smaller machines like this. What? So it's looking good for the future. The Typhur Sync Oven has a whole bunch of features that I've really been looking for. Testing this thing out is going to be really fun, but I just hope it doesn't turn out to be a huge disappointment. With that being said, over the next week or two, I'm going to be making a whole bunch of stuff in the Typhur oven, and when I have enough information, I'll be back with a full product review. If you'd like a little bit more information about the Typhur Sync Oven, I do have an Amazon affiliate link for it down in the description of the video. If you buy anything through those links, I do make a small commission, but it doesn't change the price that you pay 1 cent. In case you haven't noticed, I now have the Joe's Phenomenal merch store online. You can see a few of the products I have available down below the video window, and if you go into Spread Shop from down there, you can see all the rest. I also have a link to the store down in the video description. All proceeds from the store go right back into the YouTube channel to try to make it just a little bit better experience for you. If you like this video and you're not so sure about the Typhur Sync Oven, I do have a playlist right here where I've unboxed and reviewed a whole bunch of different multi-cookers. If you check that out, then you just might find something in there that you like better. Well, that's it for now. I hope to see you back again really soon, and until that time, I'm Joe, and I hope you have a phenomenal day.